Hi everyone, welcome back to my iPadcast. My name is Kiyomi, but you can also just call me Camilla. And today we're going to talk about anxiety. This topic has been recurring so much in my life recently that I just felt the need to let it all out and share some of my experience with you guys. I don't really care who watches it or not, obviously. I don't really have a big audience, but it's for my own comfort. So if you're willing to listen to me yap and talk about my anxiety, then go for it. Sometimes it's really hard to put it into words and describe what you're feeling because emotions are so complex and everyone feels differently. So obviously, it cannot be really understood unless you've experienced it yourself. But that's completely okay and it's totally valid. But I just wanted to have my own share of this, and maybe this feeling that you couldn't really pinpoint was this anxiety, and maybe you can relate to me in some kind of way. So, yeah, maybe let's start from the beginning. I've always had this really uneasiness when I was younger. Whenever I would go on a sleepover to my cousins, um, by the end of the night, when it was actual bedtime, I would get really anxious and I would start panicking and crying that I want to go home. And mind you, it was when I was like 6, 7 years old, maybe. Um, but yeah, it happened a few times that I had to ask my aunt or my uncle to drive me back home because I missed my mom or I missed my bed. And it obviously, like, I felt really bad because it was 11 p.m. or 12 a.m. and my uncle, my aunt, they had work in the morning, but they still drove me back. But somehow, whenever I reached home, I started feeling so much better. So I just thought that it was homesickness, even though, like, what, we lived 15 minutes away from each other. And it's not like I slept with my parents anymore. I had my own room, but somehow the comfort of me being home really brought peace to my mind. Mm, and that was honestly the case throughout my teenage years. Whenever I would go on sleepovers, I always had that uneasiness. And later on, when I did not need my parents that much anymore, I would just suck it up and tell myself that why am I being like this? Why I'm being scared? Nothing's happening to me. We have trusted adults in the house, and like, really, there's nothing to be afraid of. And yeah, that feeling would go away. But like, I would really question myself. I don't think I've ever talked to my cousins about it, so this might be the first time that they're hearing about it. But yeah, like, I don't know where it came from, to be honest. Maybe I was just extremely attached to my house. I always called myself as a homebody. I always classified myself as that, and maybe perhaps that was engraved in my brain, and I needed my room, or my, like, comfort space, to feel comfortable. Even when I was close to 18 years old, I felt the same way. And I don't know, I thought that there was just something wrong with me because I don't think any of my cousins experienced anything the same, or at least we didn't really share any of that with each other. Um, so I just assumed that, oh, okay, maybe there's something wrong with me. So I just kind of ignored it. But then when COVID hit, that's when everything came and hit me so much harder. I've developed social anxiety because my parents really took the lockdown seriously, and I was basically in my house 24/7 for a month. I didn't go out anywhere. I wasn't meeting up with anyone. Obviously, I still, like, chatted with everyone, was in touch with everyone. It's just I didn't have any face to face contact, and that made me really anxious about talking to other people. As in, even when I went grocery shopping, I would be really scared to just, I don't know, stand there and to walk around the store. And when I had to take care of some legal documents, I also was really anxious about other people talking to me or me talking to other people, I would really think of all the scenarios that could happen in my head, and I would prepare myself to talk to them, even though it was just a simple hello. Um, I would like to do this and that, right? So yeah, it really messed with my brain at that time, and I told my parents about it. But if you know, you know, if you grew up in an Asian household, then the topic of emotions is non-existent. My parents do not believe in mental health. They never seeked help whenever they would struggle. They would never talk about it with anyone. They would deal with it themselves, and that really sucks because it really passes down onto generations, and it really affected me in a lot of ways. Mm, I do definitely carry some trauma with all the miscommunications, or more like lack of communication in my household. Um, so when I told my parents about my anxiety, they dismissed my feelings, and it was very like invalidating for me. And I never really want to speak about my emotions to my parents ever. So yeah, that's some trauma dumping right there. Then when COVID ended, I had some small panic attacks during like class. I never really told anyone about it. I did struggle quite a bit with my mental health during like my 11th and 12th grade of high school. Uh, my health really deteriorated, and it was a bit visible. That's for sure. My friendships were also a bit rocky, but somehow I came out of it. I graduated, and I was good. I was on good terms with everyone that I wanted to be on good terms with, and I'm glad that I still got to experience some of my high school life, even though my parents didn't really let me go out a lot, and I had a like a strict time that I had to be home at. But that also made me miss out on a lot of things that my classmates were doing together, like partying together, spending time with each other. Like that's something that I really missed out on, and I really regret that. But I could not really change the way my parents would operate in the house, obviously. um, but that definitely brought me to this point in life when like all the principles or all the rules that my parents would tell me, they definitely did go with me to university, because I missed out on a lot of things as well. Now the past 3 years when I was in university, because I was sticking to those rules that honestly should not, I mean, be existing anymore, since I live alone. I'm independent, I can make my own decisions, my own choices, but somehow I still get scared that my mom's going to scold me for being out so late or for drinking a beer or something, right? That's what really stops me from enjoying my life. And I know that it's just excuses after excuses, but that's genuinely how it is. And I feel so bad whenever I have had to refuse my friends, or I would be the one to go back home first. But that's just really like that's the reasoning. Like if you guys are watching this, I'm really sorry. I regret it. Like I really want to change this about myself, and I'm trying slowly to get out of my comfort zone, and try to be less paranoid. But anyways, maybe let's start from after graduation. I was set to study abroad. I got into uni like earlier that year. I got into Tilburg University. Then I was like really set on moving, because I always knew that I was going to study abroad, study in English. Never really had the opportunity. I mean, I did actually have the opportunity to study in the UK, but at that point, at that time, like the Netherlands was the most affordable option, knowing that they also teach in English. So I was really happy about that. I knew that I was going to move out of my house ever since I was 10 years old. And when I was in seventh grade, that's when I like really, really properly told my parents that, yeah, I'm going to study abroad. And they supported with me with that decision. And look at me now, like I'm going to start my master's here as well. So it's been a really long time. But what I wanted to say was that After graduation, I had to prepare, I had to pack everything from Poland and move to the Netherlands. And that's when it really hit me that I was not going to come back and live under the same roof as my parents and my brother anymore. Like, I would occasionally visit, but that would just be me as a guest, but not as a home anymore, you know? And that really, really hit me. And I was really upset when I came to the Netherlands. I had a really bad feeling about this move. My parents, my brother, and my cousin, they came to help me unpack and spend some time with me before they had to go back to Poland. But that whole time, I was just really upset, and I had this uneasy feeling that, oh, maybe this is a wrong choice. And I did really think that for the first 2 months of me moving there, because I cried so much. Like, I was so, so, so homesick. I've never experienced a heartbreak before, but what I was going through, I feel like that was just so much worse than a heartbreak. I could genuinely feel my heart ripping apart because of how much I missed home, how much I missed everyone. I missed the familiarity of a place because, yeah, I did grow up in Poland. I spent 18 years of my life there. I built a life there. So just to move to a new place where I knew no one, I didn't speak their language, and I didn't have my friends with me, it just felt so weird, and it made me feel very anxious, and I think I was just really depressed then as well. So that definitely added more stress and worries into my head. I'm a chronic overthinker. Whenever I would go outside, I would be really paranoid that someone's following me or trying to kidnap me. Like, it's just, until this day I get that. I'm still so anxious about those little things, but I don't think I've reached a lower low than back in 2023. It was one of the best and one of the worst years of my life. That's for sure. But yeah, after like 6 months, I found a very nice friend group, and I'm really happy that I got to be friends with them and I got to spend my university days with them, because even though they might not know about it, they really helped me settle in here, and I really enjoyed every second with them. So they were a huge factor as to why I finally felt comfortable in the Netherlands and not having the need to go back to Poland every time. Because to be fair, after every exam season, I would go back to Poland and spend time with my family for a week and then come back. But after, like, finding a group of friends and finding my boyfriend, they really helped me with feeling comfortable and settling in, even though they might not really know that they were such a huge part of my life that way. Basically, I would say the person that I am today was shaped by all the people that I met throughout my university years, and I'm really happy about that. I would not change a single thing about my university years, maybe except for that going out part. I wish I did go out more, but at the same time, I'm glad that I'm at this point in life where I I realized it, and I want to improve that flaw, and I want to change that. So we're in the right direction, right? But anyways, I feel like because I was so happy with everything that was happening in my life at that moment, I just simply forgot about all my worries. I wasn't as anxious anymore. Although I did go through another rocky situation when me and my boyfriend we just started dating and we had to go long distance. That made me extremely anxious, as in I get super easily attached to people. So obviously, start of a new relationship, and I was just so happy, head over heels. And then we were apart, so I was just struggling a lot with like intimacy, I guess, or more like not being able to be there for each other, not being able to spend as much time with each other. I was struggling with that a lot because obviously I wanted to spend every single second with my boyfriend, but we have our own separate lives, which I do know now. Obviously, I knew then as well, but like now I do know that it's important to be able to live your own life and obviously share that part with your partner. Back then, it was so much harder for me to process because I was just really, really attached. I still am. I'm working on it, but it's definitely much better than from what it was 3 years ago. I've just had really good university years. Like I can't believe that I've already graduated. I have my bachelor's degree, and I'm about to start my master's. And this anxiety came back again, and in a bigger wave as well, because at the same time as I was moving from Tilburg to Rotterdam, my boyfriend also had to leave the Netherlands because obviously he's pursuing his own studies. I could not go back to Poland because I was in a search for a job, which I do have now, but it was just a lot of stress on me because the move, my boyfriend moving out, me not being able to see my family, me finding a job, it all really accumulated and I got super, super anxious. I was constantly worrying and crying. I had panic attacks, which were so strong that I thought I was going to die. Like, it's just such a weird feeling because it's technically a mental battle with your own head, but it's honestly more than that because you feel it with your own body. Your body is so stressed. My my at some point my hair was falling out so much and I would get like quickened heartbeat, like genuinely like I was in danger or something, but it was just really because of me overthinking everything and me being worried about my future way too much and not being too able to enjoy the present. That really like stressed me out, and even right now like when I think about it, me getting into a new school, me in the new city without really anyone that I can just hang out with on a daily basis. That also stresses me out a lot because I'm scared that I won't be able to find a good friend group like I found back in my bachelor's days. That's just really like is in the back of my brain all the time. But now that I'm also working, my job kind of lets me be in the zone. Obviously, I have to focus on making orders and talking to customers, so I don't get to think about my own issues as much. But the second I get home, I get reminded of, oh, this place is actually pretty lonely because I don't get to see my boyfriend, or I don't get to hear the familiar noises that I used to have when I used to be in Poland, for example, or when I used to be with my boyfriend. So all of that really is scary and hard on me, but I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best to cope with it. I'm trying my best to talk to my boyfriend about it or share some bits with my cousins. But at the end of the day, they might not understand perfectly what I feel because it's so complex. Emotions are really, really hard to explain and put into words. So sometimes I do feel like it's what I feel is a bit invalidated or like misunderstood. Sometimes my emotions are more than what it is. Like, even now, it's really hard for me to just explain it to you, but sometimes what I feel is so important to me that when someone doesn't really take it as seriously as I am, it hurts me even more. So that's why I tend to close off even more and I don't really want to speak about it because then I get even more upset, which is valid, but also like I shouldn't be taking it that way because everyone feels things differently and I cannot force my view on others, and I cannot force others to feel the same way as me. So that's why I'm still like learning to cope with this and deal with this issue myself. Obviously, if I could, I would go on therapy, but for now, I'm a broke student, so I cannot afford that. Maybe, hopefully, in the future, I'll be able to fix those issues that I've been battling with myself because every day is honestly a mental struggle. And obviously, I try not to think about it or I try to get my mind off of these things, but it's easier said than done, obviously. Through this video, I also just wanted to say that It's okay if you feel this way. You're really not alone in this. Life sucks, life is hard, but hopefully you will be rewarded by experiencing all the hardships, and we're going to be rewarded in the future with the goodness that life can bring. I just hope that one day all this overthinking, uneasiness will go away and I'll be able to finally live anxiety free. Um, I'll be able to be anxiety free and I'll be able to enjoy my life more without worrying about someone kidnapping when I'm on a walk. Like, come on, okay, that's like so ridiculous to me. Like, the fact that my brain keeps telling me that I'm in danger, even though, like, I keep seeing other women or teenagers around out at the same time as me. Like, for example, I would consider 9 p.m. late, right? The second the sun is down, for me, it's late. And it's not really late because sometimes it's just the start of the night. But my brain keeps telling me that, oh, if you're not home by this hour, you'll be in danger and someone's going to harm you. So that's something that I really want to unlearn and tell my brain to shut down and shut off, because I just want to like hang out with people. I want to enjoy my life, you know? If others can, why can't I? But yeah, that's what anxiety does to you. Like, I get super jittery when like I'm alone and it's late. So yeah, that's what I'm going to work on starting now. Hopefully I'll be able to meet some nice people at uni. We'll be able to explore Rotterdam together. Yeah, so I hope this year, this academic year, will be a good one for me. Hopefully I'll be able to visit my boyfriend, and hopefully my anxiety won't eat me away. But yeah, if you ever need someone to talk to, my Instagram is down below, just so you guys know. But yeah, I would say having a comfort person or a person that can just hear you out, listen to you, and offer you their shoulder to cry on, I think that's just super important to have in life. Um, because sometimes battling and dealing with all of this by yourself can be way too much and can be so overwhelming. So yeah, I think sometimes it's best if you could share it with someone as well. Step by step, and we'll get better, hopefully. So yeah, I think that was enough for my yapping. I talked way too much. I've also recorded this podcast. The talk every time is a bit different, but that's because every time there was something wrong with the mic, or it was not connecting, or there was another issue going on, whatever. But I think I recorded this 6 times maybe, and it was like throughout a few days as well. So hopefully this is my last take. So if you're seeing this, I'm really glad that I'm done with this talk because it makes me anxious as well. Quite the irony, isn't it? But yeah, this was it for today. Hopefully, the next time I upload something, it will be more entertaining than just me sitting down and talking. Although, this is like the best format for me because I don't have to do anything and the editing is so easy and so fast. Um, but obviously, I would want to bring in more content, more fun to this channel, but don't expect too much from me. And so, yeah, this was it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you managed to get to this point, I'm really glad. And hopefully, I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye bye.